Thanks so much for joining this stream. Make sure you check below and hit the like button, and make sure you're subscribed. The lights are on, the cameras are rolling, and we're ready to go live. So make sure you comment and ask as many questions as you can. That makes this experience better, and it lets the algorithm know that this is engaging, and so it goes ahead and invites other people into the stream as well. So thank you very much for making this channel what it is. Now let's compare some e-ink tablets. Okay, warm welcome. If you were here with me on Tuesday night, then you'll know that tonight we're going to talk about the little guys. We're going to talk mostly about the smaller e-readers that are out there and give you a sort of overview and comparison of some of those. And we're going to talk about the Go 7, the Go 7 Color. That's the sort of main event, really. That's coming up later on. But I also have some updates that I owe you. If you're here live, then just jump in and say hello to everybody. Let people know where you're at. Let people know what you're a user of. Have a chat in there. I will dive into that chat periodically and bring it up on the screen as well. Let me know that you can hear everything loud and clear and it's looking good your end as well. And let's do it. Hello, Malia. Good to see you. Awesome to see you. I'm also going to talk about the minimal phone itself as well. The one with the QWERTY keyboard, because that had a lot of promise, and I want to talk about whether it's got there yet, what they will have to do in updates to make that what it could be. And as I said, the Go 7 and lots of comparisons with that as well. And I'll take any of your questions and make comparisons as we go forward as well. It's really awesome to see you all here. Thank you very much for joining me on a Thursday night. And just there, let me know. Let's do this. Recently, my channel hit 50,000 subscribers, so thank you so much to each and every one of you who spend any time here watching my content. I'm always interested to hear what you've got to say, and I always value your comments and your questions to inform my content going forward. But I would absolutely love it if I could hit 100,000 this year, so please go ahead and make sure that you are subscribed, and let's run those numbers up to get to 100K in 2025. Love it. Awesome. So Go 7 Color Gen 2 shipped all the way to the US, ready to go. Good to see you, TNT. Very warm welcome to you. So we're going to talk about this guy first, the Mudita. And I sort of owe you an update because, well, my first video on this, I said, you know, I really like this. I do really like this thing. It's a really nicely designed phone. I think that for a lot of uses, it's really quite smart. It's really quite good. And I love the idea. I love having the meditation sound that it's going to play. I love the whole thing they're trying to do here. But one thing I did say is that I couldn't recommend it to everybody because most of us don't use SMS for our texting now. Most of us keep in communication with our friends and family by something like WhatsApp or Telegram or Messenger, or normally a mix of the different ones. We all use WhatsApp pretty much here in the UK. It's still the main one that we all use. And so to have just messages on my phone, you know, I'm not going to get very far with that. So I did say, well, no, okay. And you can sideload apps on here. You can, but it isn't officially supported. So nowhere on their website did it say, here's how to sideload apps and everything like that. It's pretty straightforward to do. I just sideloaded the Aurora store, and then that's like having an app store. It's like installing things from a Google Drive. However, one important point, WhatsApp works really well. OneNote works perfectly fine, which was great. That's a really important thing. So I can actually have today's thing that I'm working on. Yeah, that's it there. E-ink updates, a recent thing. It's all my notes for this live stream. It works just fine. It actually looks really good, actually. It looks better than the e-reader. No, when you get close to it, honestly, you see, yeah, can you all see that text just doesn't look great, does it? I can zoom in a bit, maybe. Yeah, it's not working great, is it? But it works. However, the one thing that doesn't work on there is anything Google, it seems. So just to verify this, because Google is very particular that it has to have Google Play Store if you want to install and sign into a Google app. There's Google Drive installed. It just says no. So no good, I'm afraid there. That's poor. That, once more, now I can say though, with this phone, if you are someone who doesn't want to give up their Android or their iPhone, or you know someone who doesn't want to give up their Android or iPhone, this could be a great option. This could be a good option to have as a second minimal phone, maybe something that you pop your SIM card in when you just want to go off grid a little bit. This is really nice. But if you're someone who just needs that extra app, now at least you can add those communication apps, but you can't add anything from Google. So I think if Google's services don't work, there's always going to be quite a bit missing, really. But the biggest thing that's a miss on here, it's not that, it's not the apps. The biggest thing that's a miss on here is when you go into the e-reader. It should be great because you think, oh great, I've just got a lovely little e-reader in my pocket. There's also my phone. And then you get here and you see, oh, look at that. I mean, there's no way to change that contrast. I've got options are small, medium, or large, and medium is too big and large is ridiculous unless you were visually impaired. But if you were visually impaired, you'd want higher contrast than that. And so as a reader, it's just bad. It's not, it's nothing to it. There's barely any way to actually navigate apart from just a slider. And this does have a table of contents, this book here. So as a reader, it's just bad, I'm afraid. So for that reason, I think that I wouldn't recommend this to many people, because what I want from a minimal phone is just to be something when you pull out your pocket, you start reading, and the reader's not very good. For me, I'm reasonably disciplined, and I can actually have this phone and not check it all the time when I'm at work. Well, I'm a school teacher, so I can't pull it out all the time anyway. But even when I work here at home, I do things like I leave it in a different room, or it's on do not disturb pretty much throughout the day. So I just don't get disturbed by it that much. It is different when I'm at home. I do admit I do spend a bit too much time on YouTube when I'm at home. I just tell myself I'm just listening to YouTube while I do a couple of things that aren't work or whatever, but actually it sort of sucks me in a little bit and I spend a bit too much time there. But why do I want a minimal phone? It's not to have a bad experience. It's not for the screen to be no good. I want that e-ink screen to look as good as it can. I want it to be that when I pull it out, I read rather than I scroll. I want it to be a great experience. And I hear this a lot. I hear, oh, it's purposefully a bad phone. No, nobody purposefully goes out to make a bad phone. For me, it isn't even about wanting to lose the phone. It isn't even about wanting to use the phone less. It's about what you do when you do use the phone. And I think that for a lot of people, start by just using your actual phone more intentionally rather than buy a new thing, really. I think it's about when I'm out, when I'm going places, that I have something in my pocket which isn't leading me into thinking about work. It isn't making me think about things that I can't do. Problems I can't solve until I'm here in my study on my big PC. That's the thing with my other phone. When I'm out, I get the work emails, I get the things, and I start thinking about work. And so I'd rather not do that, basically. I'd rather just put it out and read. And it's a bad reader. Either the e-ink is like nice and high contrast like it is in the UI there. That's lovely. But it is quite pixelated still. I think this is an actual e-ink screen, but I think it's an old generation or something, because it is certainly nowhere near 300 ppi. It's not great. Or the e-ink is just really low contrast and lots of ghosting. So it's like, I think it does kind of switch automatically into an X mode or something, but it does it at the wrong time. And although it's got these lovely little cards of things that you can breathe in and breathe out and do sort of mindfulness exercises, which are cool, the actual feeling of reading, or the actual experience of reading on it, isn't great. And what they should probably also do there is, because I would still recommend this if somebody was not looking to give up their main phone but wanted a second phone to carry at times, I think they should have their own little sort of maybe intentional app store, their own repository of apps. And I think they should, when you first buy it, I think it should boot up and say, would you like us to help you install a third-party messenger service? Because you might want one. And when you go into the purposeful app, the repository for intentional apps, what you should do is literally like answer a question about what you intend to use that app for. And then when you open that app, it could like maybe bong up and say, you want to use this app for this, to keep contact with your close friends and family. So therefore, when you actually use it, it just reminds you of your purpose for actually using that app, and you don't therefore get lost in that kind of rabbit hole. But this phone is nice. It's a nice feeling of things. It's nice. It feels nice. It's the right size for a lot of you. It's lovely. I mean, I'm even like, I just want to go into the alarms a minute. So it sounds lovely, this phone. I mean, the alarm tones, I'm turning it up higher than I would have it. They've really thought about it. It's nice. And there's times when I'm like, I'm in my study working and I hear this nice sound. I'm like, oh, which one out of all these devices that I've got in this room, which was making that lovely sound? And it turns out that it's like a message or a voice call on WhatsApp or something like that. And it's just got lovely ringtones. It's just nice. So it is a very nice experience of a phone. It is pleasant. It's a good design. I just think they have to make that decision of whether to support apps or not, and blend that into their kind of ecosystem and their idea. So that's what I plan to say about the Mudita phone. It's really cool. That is the Mudita Compact. So Mudita, this brand you can recognize there, Mudita. It'll be linked up, I think, in the description, or I've got another video on it as well. And I'm going to produce another video on this as well. They produce like mindful things, e-ink clocks. They have a previous phone which doesn't have hardly anything of this. And yeah, lots of questions about the Go 7s and things like that. So we'll find that. Any more questions about the Mudita, let me know. You know, it's a nice size. If I show you it next to, this is my Fold, which is obviously a big phone. And this is my minimal phone, which we'll talk about next. And this guy still failing to upload is the Bigme Highbreak Pro, which is the one I would recommend that you actually get, which apart from this issue that I'm having, but it's still failing to upload. The Mudita is that nice size. It's a bit thicker than the others, but it doesn't need a case. So there's that. It's nice and light. It is something, you know, if you make that decision, take that out with you, then you're making a decision to be more mindful, I think, and that's cool. I think that's a nice product the way it is. Let's have a little look. I don't think they do support eSIMs, no, but I'm not sure. I haven't actually investigated that, Nikolai. My apologies. Actually, this one is a dual SIM, the Highbreak. And now there's lots of points looking forward to later. I'm going to keep you waiting for this because we're going to chat a bit more about phones and things. We're going to do the minimal phone next, but not too much, just a little bit. And then we'll talk about the Go 7 Color Gen 2. I think it's a waste of money unless you want the pen. The pen is a waste of money. Hardly anything new. Pointless upgrading from Gen 1 to Gen 2. So I'm going to show you both, and you can sort of see what whether you agree with Dennis or not. I don't necessarily disagree, yeah, unless you want the pen really, and the slightly nicer buttons, I say as well. The screens aren't night and day. David Paxman is here. Thanks very much for being a member, David. The writing is the worst pen screen combination I've ever seen, and I own them all. Yeah, so same thing. It's that bad. The Bigme B7 is so much better. That's interesting. I don't actually have my B7 yet. I think it's on its way. I've got the B751, and actually the pen feel on that isn't terrible, but I remember the pen actual input, the accuracy of it being quite poor there. So we'll see. We'll see. The 710.2 is identical to that. They could have just added pen support to Gen 1. I think Gen 2 is a cash grab. Yeah, but I guess that is the distinction, is pen support. That is the distinction. The buttons are different as well. It's something that people have been clamoring for and asking for. I think the processors are different because it certainly is a quicker one. But anyway, we will look at them side by side and we can do all those things. Okay, so cool. Going to have a little look at the minimal phone next, but I'm just going to take myself a moment to prepare for that. I just want to take a moment to talk about my membership offer. There are 3 tiers of membership. Firstly is the advanced review evaluators, and people love to see my videos before they go live to the public. The next tier is members only videos. And this year I'm increasing the number of members only videos that I put out each month. It's amazing to me that my channel is at the point where I can't respond to every single comment that I get. I try my best to get around to as many as I possibly can, but as a member in any tier, I'll always respond to your questions first. And I do know that many of you have questions about your specific use case. And the last tier is my office only tiers, where I'll offer you a call every quarter if you join that tier. So you can discuss and get advice about which one might suit you, but also how you can integrate these into your work life. I really appreciate that many of you want to support the channel in this way, and this is just a bit more than giving a super thanks on a live stream. So thank you once again. Yeah, thank you very much. And that's why I started members really, because people were giving super thanks and about voting their questions. That's still available, but perhaps David, you can vouch for that I do, if I see a comment from members, I absolutely make it a priority to respond to that. Sometimes I miss them because they just, you can get buried in the feed or whatever, and I do try and respond to as many as possible. But yeah, that's really interesting, David. Thank you very much for sharing that. I will look forward to trying that and bringing that. Is it more accurate than the previous ones, do you think? Is it more accurate than your average capacitive stylus that you've used? Please let us know. We'll be very interested to know that. Any new e-readers slated for the rest of 2025? Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's have a think, where are we up to? So the one thing that I was thinking of would be they haven't done anything in the 7.8 size with Wacom EMR. So I think that should be coming along soon. Boox haven't done anything in that sort of size. What else? I don't think we'll see anything from Remarkable. Might see a Remarkable 3 in autumn. That would be fascinating if we get a Remarkable 3 in autumn. Bigme will carry on the way they're going, probably bring out like a B10 or something, because they seem to have gone to this weird naming convention with the 751 stuff and then moved away from it with the B7, so who knows what they're up to. Thank you very much, Dave. Yeah, that's what I would have thought. A better accuracy, sorry, same accuracy, but better control from the field, so you can write probably a bit more accurately with it because of that. Awesome, glad to hear that. So loving the Go 7 Gen 2. Yeah, I really like it actually. I don't necessarily disagree with what Dennis is saying. I think that there's an interesting point that my friend Ed made, which was that books are kind of like competing with themselves in a way, you know, and that it is a, you know, it's 1 year, I think, after the previous release, so it's not a surprise to see them release a Gen 2 after that sort of 1 year. But yeah, for me, it's a nice reader and it's good enough for just jotting down little notes. So we will see, we'll discuss a little bit more about that as we go forward, but I'm going to talk about this. Just one quick question. No, you can't use the stylus from the Tab X on the Go, on the 7 Gen 2, I'm afraid. For making drawings, that's a good question. If you want like just an e-ink sketch pad, then look no further than the Manta. That's a really good time. If you want color for drawing, then actually the Remarkable Pro is a good time. And also, I want to say Boox, but Boox just haven't optimized that one pen tool. And if Boox were to make a dedicated drawing app, it would be a great place for drawing. So I'd say Manta for pure black and white, and the Remarkable pen tools and brush tools are really nice. So thanks for that great question. So let's talk about this one then, and I'll fire back into the chat again. So the minimal phone, the big reason I wanted to talk about this was because they have updated things since I last did a sort of review of this, my first sort of thoughts review. And I have got, in the not too distant future, I have got a full review planned for this. But I think they said they're going to update it in a big way. Oh, it's not good, is it? In June, right? So we'll see. But I complained, oh, you can just see I've missed out the J in June there. Look, so it's now hard because I haven't got that. You know, I don't know if you use the finger to scroll on the on-screen keyboard. It's hard to find your exact right place. There's no arrow keys down here. Oh, forget it. I'll just leave it the way it is. And the autocorrect isn't great because it's minimal zone kind of keyboard. It's just, you know, I mean, yeah, it's hard to use. And you can also see my complaint as well. In the previous one, it's not very high contrast. I don't really have that much control. I've got some control over things here. I've got a temperature from my front light, and you can see I haven't got any front light on, and it's looking fine. Is that the temperature is? Yeah. At least I've got the kind of dual color front lights, and that's one thing about the Mudita that I didn't mention. The Mudita also only has cold lights, and that's bad for reading. Like just having cold lights, don't like that at all. So not sure what that bottom one is. Is that the torch brightness? Is it? Who knows? I should know that, shouldn't I? But you can just see. I mean, it's washed out e-ink, and it's not e-ink. This is the thing. Whatever OEM they're using for their screen is not as good as e-ink, and they aren't as good at programming for ePaper, let's say, electrophoretic screens, as Boox and Bigme are. So they've got 3 options. Now, you can notice there the refresh speed. So you see how it's in that area that has refreshed is nice and contrasty now. I press that, it's back to that. But now every change that I make is what they sort of users of this have termed like disco mode. It's just like rubbish, right? It's just can't use that. Or you've got this, which is X mode essentially. So now I've got like one of the worst looking and low refresh rate. Yeah, it's just not good at all. So this is a kind of X mode, I suppose. Or they've got a middle one, and what the middle one is, all right. I seem to have to do that every single time I turn that on from there. So I just, I don't even know what's going on here. So I leave it on the middle one because the middle one is the best out of the 3. See if it's worked. Go back to the. It won't go back to the thing now. Yeah, so just leave it on there. And what that now does is it sort of chooses when to change to. See, it goes into X mode whilst it moves, and then it full refreshes and goes to the HD mode. If I just find something that isn't dynamic content. There you go. So now it's back in the HD mode, and that's all right. It's not too bad. But yeah, reading on it just isn't great at all. And that's the same complaint I had about the Mudita. And yeah, the input method, the big sort of selling point is this QWERTY keyboard, right? So they haven't got the e-ink screen right. It's not a lovely thing to use for that reason. The QWERTY keyboard is like, I mean, just look at this. It's just bad, right? You can see there, one of the first things I wrote since the update. Gosh, Dan, it is just bad, right? But at least they've added the option to invest the mic symbol. So one of my first complaints was like the little mic symbol that does nothing, by the way, that doesn't go into voice typing. Which doesn't go into voice typing, yeah, which it should. Does nothing. That was the default, and then the full stop. Oh, and the full stop has stopped working now. So I've managed to make the full stop working again. Eventually, it came back last time. Yeah, look, now the full stop doesn't work. But at least they've made it such as the full stop key now is default full stop, and you can double tap the space bar at the end of writing, and it will make a full stop. But it didn't that time. So I don't know what's gone on. I actually had to turn it off and on to get the full stop back. That's what happened. You can see my frustrations, and look how grey that is. It's hard to read, and it just isn't great. Now, perhaps if you used a BlackBerry for the decade when they were a thing, then perhaps you might want this, and you might get behind this. Understood. But for me, it just isn't ergonomic. The keys aren't easy to press. They're not easy to press accurately. Yeah. They're not quicker. I don't find that there's any way to hold this phone without giving myself like problems with my tendons here. Just the selling point isn't great. Okay. And for me, if I think about this, like there isn't actually a input method which is actually fast enough to capture my thoughts as they happen on anything. there isn't really, even just pen and paper, like that isn't really fast enough for me to write down my thoughts as they happen. And that's, I don't want something to slow me down whilst I type. That's just not the case. I want something to capture my thoughts more quickly and turn it into usable text that I can use. And you can see I'm going to have to spend ages editing this to make it usable. It's just not the thing. So, you know, the whole idea of slowing yourself down to be more intentional, no, I don't buy it. And the clicks aren't that satisfactory. They're fine. Like, I want to love it. I do, but they just aren't. Yeah, they're not like, it's not like a mini mechanical keyboard or something like that. It's just not great. So I hope I'm going to be proved wrong, but I just wouldn't recommend this to anyone at a time. I think it really shows two things I kind of said earlier: how far ahead e-ink the company is compared to the alternative e-paper brands, and how far ahead the big e-ink companies are in terms of their use of e-paper screens and coding for it and getting the best out of them. It really does show how far behind a startup is. I all the best to them. I'm glad I backed it. Great project. Glad it's here. Keep updating it. I'll look forward to Minimal too, but you know, and I hope it succeeds for that to be a possibility. You know, the idea of stock Android is good on an ordinary phone, but it's not good on this, because I know they've got their minimal launcher, but you know, just at least it works with Android Auto. It's something to be said there. Not that that's not working here. I mean, can you see how bad that ghosting is on that screen? After a bit of skipping around, this is their minimal launcher. Again, I can see that, like, at least they've developed their own launcher. Yeah, it's just not good. And I think, like, I've heard a lot of people say it's not meant to look good. I've heard a lot of people talk about, like, it's meant to put you off using it. No, that's not what I want. I don't want something that I don't want to use. I want something that I want to use because it's such a pleasant experience of using. I want something that when it interrupts me, it has beautiful, well thought out tones. I want something that when I do pull it out, it's a great e-reader. The Hybrid Pro is a great e-reader. If it's bad, what's going to happen is that you won't use it, but you're not going to carry it around and not use it. You're going to leave it at home and carry something else. That's my opinion. Mudita have managed to make something that's lovely to hold and to use. Bigme have done it by making a great e-reader that's also a acceptable smartphone. I'd love to hear anyone who's actually using one of these. So either in the comments now or in the chat. I'd love to hear from anyone who's actually using one right now as a daily driver and not living in a world of frustration. So if you're out there and you're actually using this and loving it, please let me know. I'd be really interested to talk about it with you, because I just don't think right now in its present situation. And I think, honestly, even with massive updates, I think they're going to struggle to make this iteration as good as the other options that are out there. I mean, there's this guy just doing a you know, face recognition just to wake up there and looking absolutely splendid. It's having a big issue with updating. This is the problem with it at the minute, and I'm in contact with them, and I'm going to try and work it out. But I think it might end up being a factory reset to get it to update. It's like gets this far and then just doesn't do anything. So it's not without issues. And again, the what you call it isn't working Android Auto. But look at the way it just clears the ghosting. It's just stupendously good. That ink, that's ink done well. And this is a startup's first go at ink. Cool. So tell me then if you know anyone who's using it, or you are using it, or you're interested by it, let me know, and then we'll fire on. Next thing we'll talk about is Boox, and we'll get onto the Go 7 and other comparisons there as well. I'll fire and have a look at the chat. How am I finding my terminal? Yeah, I love it. Really do. I've added a few things to it. It's still on a 10-minute change. Did I change it to 5? think I changed it to 5-minute change actually. And I added some other little panels as well because I just thought, change it up. I think it's really, really good. I find it just set it and forget it, which is what it wants to be, really, isn't it? So just quick look over, because you've said quite a lot while I've been doing that, so why not? Mini T, yeah, Mini C, sorry, going to have a little look at that in a moment. Yeah, still a great tablet, it is. Don't really have a replacement of it yet, do they? Yeah, the two processors are the same. Okay, so fine. So the processor is the same between the Go 7 Gen 1, Go 7 Color Gen 1, and the current iteration, but because it's Android 13, it seems slightly faster. Okay, let's have a quick look at that. 880, and this is the current 7, but this is definitely the same processor as the Color. No, look, the different processors. 750 plays 880. So that is a better class of processor. It's listed as being only 207, but it is a better processor, the 7 series compared to the 6 series. Although, well, there's a 6 nanometer over here on the Color and an 8 nanometer, which normally would be the 6 nanometer would be the winner. Interesting. I don't know if I've ever benchmarked this one. Maybe I have. And I benchmarked the new one. No, I haven't. Obviously didn't do a successful benchmark on there. So I might just actually set that off on one and see if it can manage to do it before the stream is over when we get onto that main section there. So interesting conversation there. Thank you. Great chat. Have a little look. A few more things. Yeah, so yeah, teachers and professors. iPad 13 is my board. Yeah, I need another tablet for my eyes only. I'm not an Android user, so I'm needing more to Remarkable Paper Pro. Yeah, and you can share that to your board. That's a good way of doing things. I really have enjoyed sharing out an e-ink tablet to a screen and getting that best of both worlds feeling. But yeah, iPad for teaching is a good time. There's no denying it. Tab Mini C, the only one with BSR. Certainly not the only tablet with BSR. It's the only one of this size, I think, with BSR. Boox just recently Note XC, a giant 13 foot. They certainly did. And it's good. It's really good. And the Tuesday's live stream was all about that, so we won't go too much on that. Go 7 on a good choice. My first e-reader. Welcome to the world of reading on e-ink. Any significant difference between the plastic screen and the glass black one, if I'm not going to use it for writing? The biggest difference is that it's a bit more durable, the plastic, so it should survive impacts a little bit more. And it's a little bit less transmissive, the plastic, but no big difference there. Why is the Mini C has a big battery? Yeah, so I think that the Tab Mini C was almost the very first generation of BSR devices from Boox. And I think they weren't used to sort of coding up the graphics processor on these Snapdragon chips that they're using. And so they added a much bigger battery for that reason. So I think that they probably improved it now, but they added a much bigger battery because it was really like our first thoughts, most of the reviewers' first thoughts. You can see it's an older 665, but even that is better than the first Go 7. But oh, look, 11 nanometers. I mean, I think that size is all over the place on these things here. But yeah, they added a bigger battery for that reason. So it might even be better. I mean, I haven't daily driven this for some time, actually. But it's noticeably not quite as great colors as the newer generations of Kaleido 3 as well, because they don't have the oxide black back plate, and it isn't as good a performing tablet either, but it is good. Huh. I haven't done one in a regular as well, but it's noticeably not quite as good. And importantly, of course, it has the BSR. And so, pardon me, it has the BSR. Importantly, it has the Wacom EMR as well. And that is a massive deal for, I know it's a massive deal for you guys because it's all we've kind of talked about on the last couple of live streams. And the reason why it's a massive deal, this is that handwriting. That's interesting. That handwriting was done on the Tab X XC. So if I do my neatest handwriting on a much smaller device, then you should hopefully see that my writing will be better on this Wacom EMR than on the capacitive one there. Oh, it's behaving strange because it's in this case, I would imagine. Or is it just behaving strange because it's... Okay, so, I mean, the difference isn't huge, is it? The difference is not actually huge at all. So that's very interesting to me. I think partly that's because my hand was sort of leaning off the edge of this. That's an issue with handwriting neatness. I think largely this is a very glossy, very slippery screen. I mean, I can just tell the like shapes of my E's, for instance, are just better formed than, for instance, the E's down here and this sort of inactual. But actually, no, if this was all done on the Tab XC with the capacitive stylus, there's not that big a difference between that and that. And that's a good sign, actually, for the Tab X. So that's an interesting one. But I think one of the reasons why the Go 7 Color 2 and the Go 7 Color, why they're not been so warmly received, is because I think really we're waiting for a refresh of this. And this by your chat that you've been having and this point here, really, I think we're kind of waiting for an upgrade of this. Just don't blame you for that at all. Now let's get the Go 7 2, which I meant to turn off. It's obviously on full power off after like a couple of minutes, but let's let it just boot up and then do a sort of side-by-side writing there as well. And I think people were sort of, okay, I'm ready for this size. I want a Boox at that size again. But notice they're not actually the same size. Notice the 7.8 is actually in use a fair bit bigger. It is, but that screen, I've lined up those corners correctly. There is a fair bit more writing real estate. And this was a really sort of, this was like they had the Nova line like this. And yeah, there was lots to like about this sort of size of e-reader. And I think if this had come out with a full Wacom EMR, people would have been like, great, that's the successor, it's replacing this. Now we understand maybe why we haven't got a new Nova black and white, we haven't got a new Tab XC sort of size. But then you got this with the capacitive stylus. Now you can really see that on the word possible there. It's almost like the two S's in the middle are just unfinished. And I can promise you my hand did go round the full S's, just as they did in the slippery and the ears there as well. But it's just not possible. It just isn't capable of completing the strokes as well as the other devices are. So I've done too bad a job with that. But you can really see if I go a slow circle, you can really see some of those sort of more angular sides of that circle, and that's because of the capacitive grid. So this is okay. It's okay for quick scribbles. It's okay for, you know, desk notes, to-dos. So look at that. Shopping lists. But it's not great for like long-term writing. But I would say even this size, 7.8, even long-term writing on that size, you'll get frustrated as well. So if you want something to write with long-term, go for the bigger size. Now the Tab XC doesn't have Wacom EMR, but it is a better writing experience than that. And I want to just, I want to come back to this because I think when I got this out again today, preparing for this live stream, and you can see how much bigger that is. I was thinking, gosh, this is one of the best e-ink screens I've ever used. It is absolutely fabulous. Oh, that's literally an update since earlier on today, so that's timely. So cool, another update on the way. We'll just do it afterwards. So now, like handwriting, it's actually acceptable. And I must say, for if I was trying to write a long piece of handwriting, I prefer to have that with its size than the Tab Mini C, with both with the slippery screens, but with it being so small and my hands are falling off the edge. I mean, my handwriting doesn't look great. Let's write like possibly again. Just to really try that, I even spelled that right, but like just to really see what those S's are up to. You can see it has gone around the full loop. Okay. I mean, that's not too bad actually for my handwriting. There's some things I want to draw your attention to. Look at the end of that G, at the end of that Y there. You see it just tapers off there. There's not a very nice sort of transition between the pressure levels. That's something that also is a hallmark of capacitive stylus. They have the same number of levels of pressure, but they don't transition between the pressure levels quite as well. If I do that same thing, hard to see. Yeah, that's better though. I feel like I have better control over the thickness of a pen. I'm not getting the sort of blotchy ends, sort of blob ends. Yeah, glad you're absolutely right. So it must be, and I think that's like one of the reasons for that disappointment. I think for people, it's like possibly it's not even been like available, has it? Like really widely available. It's been difficult to track down a copy of the Tab XC. So people are like, well, where's the replacement for Tab XC? Because I want to spend money. I want to give you one of these. I'm going to just pause for a moment, and then we'll come back and we'll do some more comparisons as well. Great to see you all here. Questions, comments, and concerns, as always, in the chat. Everybody, thank you so much. Just give myself just a moment to sort of regroup. I'm going to bring in the Note Air 4C and talk about the improved Kaleido Free, and I want to sort of decide for sure whether these two have the same sort of color range as the Note Air 4C, which is absolutely fabulous color. So you can have a look at that for just a minute and a bit, and I'll be back to answer more of your questions straight after. This is the Boox Note Air 4C, and it's absolutely ideal if you're a student or a professional seeking a versatile e-ink tablet with a color display to enhance your note-taking and your reading. It's got the Boox Super Refresh, so you can see ghosting is minimalized without having to do full refreshes. This time they've improved the processor and given you 6 GB of RAM. It's full Android, so it's got Google Play Store as well, so you can access any app, and Android apps do work better on a color e-ink screen. Kaleido Free is by no means perfect, and it is quite dark without that front light. But for me, for a tablet where you're using dynamic content, At least it's quick and doesn't need to flash to change color. And actually this time around, they've really got it looking really good, for instance, in graphic novels. But of course, it's nowhere near the look you might expect from an LCD or an OLED tablet. But in my opinion, color e-ink is ready now to be really enjoyed by many people. But don't expect it to be really accurate to what you're going to get on an OLED screen or even a printout. And for that reason, they only give you access to a limited palette of colors, even in the Notes app. And I've covered that there are some flaws in the note-taking app, with the pencil with tilt. Still a work in progress there, Boox. But people love it for the combination of the color ink display with that flexibility of the Android ecosystem. It really makes it a great tool for your work and for leisure. I love standing up in this mode and using it with a Bluetooth keyboard. Awesome, thank you so much everybody for being here and chatting away. I'm going to look through the chat a little bit more. Incidentally, I've shared this a couple of times. If you're interested in buying a Boox device right now, then I strongly suggest this is a good time to do it, because Boox don't often discount things. I think it's because they sell out as much as they can kind of produce, really. So right now, as a Father's Day set of discounts is on my community tab. If you go to my channel on my community tab and scroll down, they're discounting the Note Max. That's the best discount, is on the Note Max, incidentally. Like, I think it's up to 70. One of the currencies is 70. It might be 70 euros off, might be $60. Great deal already for that size of e-ink screen. Really good deal available for Father's Day. And yes, the codes are there. They don't look like codes because they're not like all caps, but they do work. I've checked them. I've certainly checked the European ones anyway. The other ones that are discounted, they're discounting the Note F4C. They're discounting the Go 10.3, which was already a great deal. Not as heavy discounts, but still good to see discounts, and the Palma 2 as well. So if you're looking to get into Boox, it's a good thing to have a look just now. Go there through one of my links first, please, because that's a great way to support us to earn, so we can actually make videos for you. And then you put in the discount code and it comes off at checkout. Going to dive back in a little while and compare all these, but just talking about the Note Max that's over here, I'm really enjoying having it on this book stand. I don't know if you noticed, I don't know if you saw my Mita review, this little review of this book stand, but this book stand actually came with one flaw, and I quite like having it here because it's magnetic and you can put on anything that's in a sort of Mita case. You can snap it straight on to that, and then it's a stand for your cases as well. But also you can stand anything on it with this like book stand case. But do you notice it's cracked? So they sent me a replacement for this part. I don't know if they've sent me a replacement for the little bit it stands on. So let's just do that together just now. It's exciting times. Unboxing live, so always good. Hopefully this one isn't cracked as well, but as I say, it's there. Perfect. Right, so yeah, so quick to acknowledge that just could have happened to anything really, damaged in shipping, and here it is with a new one. And you can hopefully see they've also given me this incidentally, this stand will stand anything with a anything that's already got MagSafe on. We'll just clip straight to that. So if you've either invested in like a case with MagSafe for your Android device, or you've got an iPhone that's got MagSafe, then it will just clip on there, or iPad as well will clip on. But they've also given you two 3M magnet pads that can stick onto another device or anything you want to put up there as well. And then this piece, which is the book stand piece, which can also sit like a sort of reading pillow, so it can lie flat on a desk rather than be up on a stand. And I quite like that, and most of the time you'll probably notice this will be the situation with this little book stand piece and the little page holder arms that come out the front there like that, and that will live on there. And either, for now at least, either you'll see the Boox Note Max on there, or you'll probably see the Tab X, because that's just a sort of ideal place for it, really. Okay. Just to refer to any reading that you're doing, make quick notes, or even to send things over as a sort of second screen, really. So it's a useful useful thing there. So I just thought I'd update that one as well, as I'm doing a whole bunch of updates. Let's have a little fire into the chat now as well, and then I'll look more about the Go 7s, etc. Let's have a little look what you guys are all conversing about. Sorry, I just lost my window for a second there. Yeah, this is an interesting question. How are the dead pixels on those Boox devices you have? Yeah, like, have I got any? I mean, very, very few. There was one device that I did this on, but I haven't done it. I mean, they're not something that I notice really at all, dead pixels. So it's not like, I know they exist. It is a thing. Like, you can, if you wish, you can put an entirely black screen on your device, and you will probably notice on any ink screen, you'll notice maybe a few, but like, it just doesn't put me off at all. Like, there's never a time where I think, oh no, this thing is ruined because of dead pixels. I don't honestly think that I know about any, although when I was working with the Note F4C, somebody said from my video, they said that I had a dead pixel. So maybe actually they must be reasonably easy to see, mustn't they? If somebody just from the video could actually pick one out. But they certainly, if they exist, they're not something that ever bothers me or anything like that. I think that it's a little bit made to seem like a bigger problem than it really is sometimes. Yes, in general, color, it has worse performance in black and white, with I think one sort of noteworthy exception. Really, I think it is worse than a black and white. It seems to be finally doing it. No, it isn't. But the Kindle Colorsoft, actually, I read on it quite a lot in black and white because I read with my daughter with it quite a lot, and actually I don't dislike it at all. For that reason. And I want to bring that in now because I want to do a bit of a comparison between the Go 7 Color 2 and the Note F4C. And it's worth having the Kindle there as another sort of reference point, really, because this should make sense in a moment, right? I wanted to get up the exact same thing, but one issue with this, and I really do recommend the Kindle Colorsoft to people, but for some reason I can't seem to open up Watchmen on it. And it's like, you own this, you've bought this, it's in your library, but every single time I press read now, it just won't. And I've restarted the whole thing. So even the Kindle, which like should be and is in general just the easiest way to just pick something up and carry on reading, it is a really good time for that reason. But I'm trying to get this thing downloaded and it's just not playing ball. I mean, the user interface is just absolutely terrible. I mean, most of the time all you do is just turn pages, of course, so it doesn't matter that much, but it's just like that one's worked. Henry's Big Ears, so we can have Henry's Big Ears on it as well. It's not something my daughter is reading, but it's we can have that to do this kind of color comparison. But I wanted to get up the same thing. So this is the Go 7 Color Gen 2 just here, and this is the Note F4C. Now, do you see the difference between the two? Because I do. Now, I know this is the Go 7. I don't know that this is the improved Kaleido 3, but I do know that the Note F4 is the improved Kaleido 3, and I actually don't think the reds are as good over here on the Go 7. So I think the Go 7 has not got, can you see the better vibrancy in the purples here and in the reds? And just generally, and I don't know if you saw, but I put them both on the coldest light, and I would actually read with them on somewhere here and not a full light. So I should maybe go to something actually more what I would use. And you can see the blues are deeper. You see the reds are deeper. Everything is slightly better. So I actually don't think that, unfortunately, that the new Go 7 Color Gen 2 is the improved e-ink, the improved Kaleido 3. So that's a shame. It's a missed opportunity because this guy definitely is. This is the Kindle Colorsoft, and it is an absolute banger. It's absolutely brilliant. If I go to a kind of colder thing, I'll give it its best brightness. You see it looks really white. I mean, the screen on here, safer, you can still see a little bit of the yellow tinge on there. The colors on here are absolutely banging. See the blues? Yeah, and that is in line with this, the Note Air 4C, but it's not as good on the Go 7. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, but the new Go 7 isn't as good color as the Note Air 4C. And the previous Go 7 is still doing its benchmark that we tried to get it to do a moment ago. So I'll leave that running because I want to answer that question earlier on. So the reason I brought this out to answer a question about Christmas of black and white. Now I've gone off on one about color, but I do want to make that point that yeah, this is not the very finest. I mean, you can just see in Rorschach's face there. You can just see if is it Rorschach or is it just some other random dude? I think it is Rorschach. I bring up, oh no, it thinks it's got a magnet on it, you see, so it's turned itself off. You see the more like a skin tone color there. And then if I bring in his color on the Go 7 Color Gen 2, see it's more yellow. Skin tone and yellow. So I think that, yeah, there's the Note Air 4C is still amazing. On Henry's big ears as well, you see his lovely skin tones. All right, I haven't picked out the best thing here, but I was trying to get the exact same thing on, but it just let me down. The greens are good. And the color on this Colorsoft, they got this right. And for that reason, I still think it's a recommend. Now, the reason why this question was asked about the black and white text, if I go back to what my daughter is actually reading, I mean, she'll happily read this type of thing, don't worry, don't get me wrong. It all turns out all right for Henry with his big ears in the end, don't worry. But she's loving her Hetty Feather at the minute. She's on Emerald Star. But you can just see, I hope, that actually that black and white looks great. It looks really, really good. Like, you know, properly good. And if I bring the Go 7 normal up, that also looks really good. Like, I mean, and I was comparing the different, again, I'll just go to a color that I would actually use on this. I would pretty much show it all off, to be honest, but there we are. I'll go to a comfortable reading color on both, regardless of matching it up. I mean, I'm really hard pressed on this Kindle to really pick out that grain. I have to look for it, and I don't think I did wonder, because my daughter, when I bought her this, I did think, am I getting her the right thing if she's mainly going to be reading just ordinary books? Should she not be reading on some Carter 1300 since I've got that around? But having spent a lot of time with it now, I don't think there's too much of a penalty for the Kaleido on this one. It's really good. The on the color here though, this guy is the, let's go to Dante. Is that a flat PDF though? I don't want a flat PDF, thanks. I'd rather it looks really good still, doesn't it? Looks really, really good. Let's find, yeah, an EPUB, some description. Yeah, now if I show you this, you can see that fuzziness around. Yeah, Regal, deep. You can actually see, it's not terrible, it's still crisp. it is still really crisp on here. This is the Go 7 Color Gen 2 here that we're looking at here. And let's have a look at that next door to the, see, it just still looks whiter. It does look crisper on the Kindle. The font is really nice as well. I do think Kindle do get just reading right. The Boox is so much more powerful in terms of all the other things it can do, absolutely. But yeah, it does. And I want to make this. Well, in fact, that's not even the that's the Note Air, isn't it? I mean, now bringing the Tab X and zoom out. I mean, the thing is absolutely massive, isn't it? But I just want to do this as well on the because I think this looks amazing, but I still don't think actually the reds are as deep on here as they are on the Note Air 4. I think the Note Air 4C is an absolutely banging screen. But again, I would say that pardon me, when I see that screen, you know, in the room, I'm like, yeah, that is incredible. Look at it. So let's go and give it its best shot. I think that the colors look most accurate around there. So let's try and match them up to their kind of best. And I think this is better than the Go 7 3 Gen 2, but I don't think they're quite as deep as they are. I mean, look at the greens. Look at the green of Watchman. You see how much greener that is on the Note Air 4C? So I think that actually the best color you can buy is still the Note Air 4C and the Kindle Color Soft. I don't think anyone's currently got that same oxide backplane, which gives it that deeper. And we'll see when we get to Roy Such's skin tones, this guy's skin tones. Yeah, can you just see much deeper color there on your man's face, and just lighter, yellower. Not bad. I'm not arguing. I'm not saying this is a bad thing because of that, but it isn't as good a color as the Note Air 4C, which is stupendously good. But they're all really good. They're all, you know, I'm an e-ink enthusiast for a reason. I'm guessing you guys being here are e-ink enthusiasts for reasons as well. So let me know what you think about that. Has that been useful comparisons there as well? We will look through a few more things as well. But I do think it's an interesting point. I think, yeah, that point that maybe we were just waiting for the somebody asked earlier on as well, didn't they? Tab Mini C2 or something. I think they won't bring a Tab Mini C2 next. I think they will bring I hope anyway, I think they'll either make it a Note Mini to tie it into that Note category, or they'll make it a Go. I expect we'll get a Go 7.8 black and white at some point in our lives, and that'll be really good. And I expect we'll get a Note Mini C, something like that, next, and that'll have a lovely writing feel, nice and thin, Wacom EMR with color. I think that'd be a banger as well. Okay, just give me just a tiny bit of time, I think, just to sort of have a little look through what you're saying and think about the next little part. Whilst we do that, just understand about how this all works. Thanks so much for being here and spending time with me on this live stream. I really enjoy engaging with you guys and answering your questions live. It's a massive support to me. Now, if you do decide that one of the devices that I review here on my channel is for you, then go ahead and check the links in the description, because when you make a purchase through a YouTuber's affiliate links, you make it possible for us to keep making content for you. Cool, so I'm just going to sort of spotlight and talk about the Go 7 itself and the Go 7 Color for a little while as well. Or I also want to bring in the Bigme as well and just do a little side-by-side comparison with that. But some of your kind of questions and things like that, let's have a little look. Yeah, they don't normally like color, but sure, the 4C is tempting. Yeah, I don't think it necessarily gets at the kind of core use of an e-ink tablet reading and writing, but certainly using apps with color is a good time. Absolutely. Thanks for the comparisons. Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, good to hear you all a nice chat as well. Go 7 black and white for reading. Yeah, and the thing is though, that's a great way into Boox at this point, because you've got that slightly larger screen. You've got the option to use all the apps. A lovely place for reading. You've got the Notes app that you saw syncs across with other tablets in the future. You can do all the nice annotation things in the Boox and save all your things there. You can enjoy getting to know using e-ink. Did you say just a black and white? Yeah. I mean, I think this is a really, really good device, and I think that it's also really good value. So I just want to go ahead and find out exactly what the prices are for you all. What have I been reading? Fine. Go 7, and they're really good, nice, quick device as well. The Euro shop, fair enough. So 249.99 euros, 250 euros. I mean, it's quick. I mean, just think about that compared to what I was showing you on the minimal earlier on with it scrolling. I don't even know what e-ink mode I'm in. I'm in A2 mode, and it isn't BSR on here, but like, let's just go to a browser on the minimal phone and do a similar thing. I mean, it's like, oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it? How much quicker that is getting across there. So that's my point there as well. So, and yeah, by starting on that, it's not cheap, all right? It's absolutely not cheap. But if you want to do more on ink, if you think you're tempted by this idea of like not just it being a reader, but being really useful for you otherwise, I think this is one of the best e-readers you can buy right now, full stop. If you're wanting to just do more than just turn a page. And when you do want to turn a page, you've got these lovely buttons they've made there as well, which is just a nice time. If you've not had a kind of one-handed e-reader experience where you can just have the buttons, are really nice. People really liking the form factor of the Go 7, yeah. And as I say, like actually, if that had the Wacom EMR, I think for a lot of people, they were like, wow, it would have been a really good choice for me. And people are just like, well, so used to saying our Boox have got great pen input. Absolutely. Yeah, Gboard is one of the first things I do. I often use the built-in keyboard. One reason why I use the built-in keyboard is because it works well with handwriting recognition everywhere, and also like I like to test it. But no, I often put Gboard. I don't know if you notice on the high break I have Gboard, so I can swipe to type as well. But yes, you can just put Gboard on there. I'm sure it works just fine. Any other questions? Any other questions? Roger is talking about that. I do think they made the Go 7 Gen 2s complete with the code relief, but absolutely, I'm sure they did. Yeah. Yeah, Reddit is great for information about how to do things, isn't it? Don't know if you guys are on the ink and Boox subreddit here, have to find tips and tricks, and yeah, absolutely, yeah. Just love seeing what people do with their devices. Yeah, good tip there, Simply Law. Yeah, so this is what I think people are kind of also like a bit like almost like worried. So I think you look at the device lineups that Boox have. They've got the Go, the Tab, and the Note, right? So I think you'll see the Note will always retain either like Wacom EMR, or if there's a better option out there in the future, I imagine, especially given the amount of chat about it, they'll have they'll have listened to that and been like, oh, people really like the Wacom EMR. We're not getting rid of that in the next Note series. If it's possible, you know, got to remember that these all things, they do depend on e-ink actually making the screens with that technology sort of layered into it. So yeah, so earlier on we were talking about the difference between the two GPUs. So I've got that score now. Just be there in a moment. But just to finish that thought about whether they'll get rid of VMR, but I don't think that we will see in the large tab variety. I don't think we'll necessarily see Wacom EMR anymore again, unless they're like, oh gosh, that one didn't go well. We'll definitely come with that with Gen 2. Again, if the ink can make it at that size. And again, I don't think that they will be bringing Wacom EMR on a tablet this size until e-ink make that a possibility. So yeah, I can't remember. It was Dennis. Great contributions, mate. Absolutely loving it. But no, they're not the same thing there. More great contributions there. Yes, you can tap it twice on the back. But I don't like that as much as a lovely button. But yeah, this is the Go 7 Color Gen 1. This is the CPU benchmark. Terrible score, 330 for a single core, and not much better for the multi-core, really. Okay, but then the Geekbench for the Gen 2 more than double on the single core, and 1906, so almost 2000 for the multi-core. So you know, there's a reason why we're saying that this is an upgrade in terms of the snappiness and the usability of the device for that. This isn't bad. Like, I'm not, you know, I'm not disagreeing. It might well be because it's not. It might well be because it's not the same Android version. Maybe that's right. Maybe that's the reason for that higher score. But right now, it is a faster device. You can also see one thing that I was wanting to do was to bring the two devices up. You can just see the whitest light is whiter on the newer device, and you can see darker and deeper greens on the newer device. So it has improved over the previous generation, but not absolutely not night and day. I think largely, I think we're still seeing better over here, but not as good. So on the newer device on the right, everybody, all right? No, it's not, is it? It's the older device on the right. Pardon me. So actually, the light is whiter on the older device. So this is, I'll get it up on the side by side and get my facts straight. The lighter device, the newer device on the left, older device is on the right, and it's actually a deeper red on the older device and a whiter front light, it seems, on the older device as well. So I wouldn't be upgrading it because you're thinking you're getting a better screen. I actually think the colors are better on the older one. If we look at Warsuch's face, it's still washed out, but it isn't just as yellow and icky as it is on there. I do have a full version, and none of them look quite as good as this does. Sorry, none of them look quite as good as the real thing does. What about the Bigme? The Bigme is definitely in this generation of Bigme as well. They just weren't getting the same color levels as they were. So I do think, though, going from, I wouldn't buy a new one unless you desperately want the pen. But if you desperately want the pen, then consider whether you really want to get, rather than a new 7-inch device. If you desperately want to write on the ink, then consider getting something with a Wacom EMR. Especially right now in the sale, the Go 10.3 is fabulous for writing on. But Bigme, when I read on this one a lot, I really enjoyed reading on it. I thought it was really quite good indeed. But you can probably see, find everything on Bigme is, you can probably see that. There we go. It's just slow to react. Color, it's not getting quite as white as the one on the left. Color isn't popping quite as much on there as well. I'm not going to be able to find the exact same thing, so I'll just go I'll just go to a browser and look at the BBC page. Oh, turn off Wi-Fi for some reason. Hopefully it's still, yeah, it should still go back straight on. There we go. Try that again. Sure, whatever. Bad news. Scroll past the bad news. No, it's not looking like it's going to play ball for some reason. It is online now. There we go. We're in. Yeah, I just don't think the colors are as good. The page isn't as white. Things aren't as bright. I mean, generally it's, yeah, the refresh isn't quite as good. I don't know which mode I'm in. Default. I'll go custom. I'll go anti-shake, auto clean, and normal fast. Although I did use extreme quite a lot when I was using this. So yeah, now look, it's fast as fudge. Auto clean looks good. Colors looking quite good on those photos. I mean, it's just like the different things for different, you know, different pictures look better in different modes on different tablets as well. Actually, the colors look quite good on that face there. How lovely, Nadia. But what about writing? So, like, you know, if we're here because we're thinking to ourselves, yeah, I want e-ink with a stylus. Again, I think you're in the wrong size of tablet. If you want the ink with a stylus, would you even go back home on this thing anymore? There we go. Return to home screen. This was not the thing to use. I think, oh yeah, it's that thing we had to remember to wake it up. There we go. Even worse, in my opinion, like still not too bad. But you can really see that bad pressure. We've used that brush, look. I'm trying my best to keep the same pressure. And it just changes between. It changes between light and dark really quite a lot. And you can see, if I look, see the bottom of the T there, you get that a lot. And the line there, when you start and stop lines, you end up with these blobs. And that's because the pressure levels just aren't as smoothly differentiated as they are on the professional sort of ink, the professional EMR stuff. It's like we've had the same conversation like 3 times, Mike, isn't it? Like I think we've yeah, then he'd have a rant. Yeah, absolutely. I know. But let's have a look. Like, does yeah, it wasn't great at all. Yeah, so that was like, you know, that was, it's not rock bottom. I've used worse, but it's not good. So now if I go on here and I have like a brush tool, let's try and compare like with like. So now you can see that Boox have actually done better with that. I'd be interested to see, there's a gentleman, was it my friend David, wasn't it? Yeah, there's a gentleman on here. David has a B7. I'd be interested to know if it does that blob thing like the 751 did. Does it blob? Yeah, I don't think, I mean, the Ink Sense is nowhere near as good as the Inkspire, but the Inkspire is nowhere near as good as the Wacom EMR. So there's a reason why the ink aficionados in the world are harassing the ink reviewers of the world about the Wacom EMR. It's not like we made that decision, my man. But yeah, you go ahead and you go ahead and you harass away. That's what I'm here for, I suppose. Got the Go 7 Color Gen 2 anyway, so I only use annotate books and make quick notes. Yeah, love it. Yeah, so quick notes, basically those styluses, acceptable for quick notes, not for your intense writing things. Like I say, okay for quick scribbles, okay for desk notes and to-dos and shopping lists, in my opinion. Everyone's jealous about the hair. I wanted you to change. Next time you're on, I want your avatar to be a picture of you so we can compare that. Is the old cover compatible with the new version? I haven't tried that because I've been using the Mita cover and I don't know where the other cover is right now, so I couldn't tell you about that just now, I'm afraid. Cool. It's basically the same size though, so I would imagine it would be. B7, is it good for notes? Still searching for a compact device. By the way, thanks for the nice comparison. Yeah. What I would hope they would do one day soon is give us, I think this would be like A+ for a Go 7.8. But Boox, if you're listening, yep, all right, you ready? So give us this size e-ink screen, but try and make the Go so it's just like the thinnest like bezels, like as thin as you can make them. Try and make the Go as thin as you can as well, so it's like paper thin. Give us like pure black and white. Don't mind about BSR on that one if you can't fit it in. We want long enough battery life with it being thin and light. Okay, just make the thing this sort of size, that nice compact little like paper size. Be absolutely lovely. But with the Wacom EMR, please don't need a front light on that one. Just go with that. That's what I would suggest would be a great. I guess. Yeah. I guess that would be the. I think that would be a great device there. That thin, like light, compact sort of size there as well. Cool. Okay, that is that's the main things I've planned to do today. So I'll accept questions for a little while just for fun. Not about my hair care regime though, please. Well, it's not that exciting. It's not that interesting. But yeah, please do fire away in the comments now as well, and we'll just we'll just have a little bit more time together before I say goodnight for another wonderful live stream. Thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it no end. Yeah, people appreciate the comparisons. I see you have the case of the pen loop. Do you have any trouble with the magnets on that? Yeah, what I would say is that I've been taking it out of the case whenever I've been reading or writing, because yes, it does have little blob spots where it doesn't write so well, although you just saw me write with it in the case and it didn't have an issue there. So yeah, I just pretty much, one thing I like about that, I like that you just pull out the case like so. I did like, and I do like having the Mita case as well. Again, no sponsorship, no affiliation with Mita, except they send me a few things that I've had on the Go 7 before. It's the other way around, isn't it? Okay, and what the reason I quite like that is that you pull it out and then you've got a thin and light thing that's still got a nice soft touch back, and the corners are protected as well. So I quite like that case. But yeah, the magnet cases are quite good on these little guys, the Go 7s of the world. So no complaints with the cases this time around. 7.8 versus 7, yeah. So this is your 7.8 on this left-hand side, and your 7's there. So there's actually quite a bit, like that 8.8 diagonally makes a fair difference actually. It's worth pointing out. So no, yeah, apart from the snappier things and the nicer buttons, the pen is the big difference there, I would say. Cool, good questions. Yes, I actually haven't used the B7 yet, so not sure if that does the blob thing or not. Stylus hasn't arrived yet. Opted for a USI one. Yeah, I just don't think. I think you're going to get the best experience, it seems, from the Boox ones. I think they're just, I don't know, tuned the right frequency of like sampling rate. I think that's one of the big differences between the Ink Sense and the Ink Spire is the sampling rate. And people have had, you know, they're not compatible. they are recognized on each other, but they aren't doing the same thing. So I just wouldn't go there. But I'd be interested to know if you have any other experiences on that, anybody and everybody. But my thoughts would be that no, they wouldn't be compatible. Any others? Yes, certainly do. Yeah, I think it sounds like they would be a contender for that 7.8-inch future device that I've sort of alluded to. You might want to look, actually, if you could find a Nova Air 1 or 2 in black and white. Yeah, that would be ideal for them. If you find that kind of secondhand, I don't think they sell them currently at the minute. Yeah, that's a hard one. Well, the Go 7 at least has 300 ppi. It at least has dual color front lights. Yes, it doesn't have the Wacom EMR stylus, but the Viwoods Mini, the problem with that is that the e-ink on that is so bad that I wouldn't recommend that at all. The software's improving on Viwoods, sure, but the hardware on that one is not very good. The hardware on the actual Viwoods ePaper, the bigger one, is good. The Mini is not good. I've considered it. Okay, so Go 7 with and without pen nib initially. Sorry, I did mention that. No issues at all. InkSense is still not in stock on the EU shop, so Reddit recommends the second best option. Okay, so perhaps those Redditors have actually tried that. I hope so. Glad we had a good comparison for you. Any other bits that I haven't covered? Interesting question here. True that the color on Gen 1 is better, so do you think it's just variance in the panels because of QC? It could be. There is variance in the panels, but I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that big. And I think that actually it's whatever they put on the back. It's the spectrum that reflects, and it's the LEDs, the spectrums that they emit. So if you want to get geeky on that kind of thing, then the technology to look up is your man Lewis from Easeye, because yeah, full spectrum LEDs, and the rabbit hole goes deep on that one. But again, it's not something that's like you're gonna throw one away because of the color on either of them. So I wouldn't overdo it. If I have one device, a compact reader that's not a phone, I'd go for the Go 7, I think. Because the reason for that is because would I? Yeah, I personally would. Now, I've enjoyed reading comics. I've enjoyed reading graphic novels. You saw Watchmen. I got really into Watchmen. I really enjoyed reading Watchmen. But generally, I've realized something about myself recently, that I just get obsessed and interested by things like Dante. So I think that my own personal preference, my main thrust of reading, I'm going to go for something with a Carta 1300. Therefore, I'm going to go with the Go 7. And actually, the Go 6 is amazing as well, but it's just so slow. But the Go 7 would give me all that I would want from books in terms of being quick enough to use apps and annotate and go, download a guide or do a little web search about what this bit means. If I wanted to read graphic novels, then I would go with the Go 7 color. I think it's brilliant. Although Kindle graphic novels have been really good, but actually, as I say, if I wanted to read graphic novels, and if I was going to read on Kindle, then I would go for the Go 7. I wouldn't. I'd go for the Kindle Colorsoft, right? So I'll start that bit again. So if I wanted to read graphic novels with color, then yes, the Go 7 color would be a good option, but I'd be looking to read something where I didn't have to zoom in on each panel, and then therefore I'd be going for the XC, the Tab XC, because then I could just see it more full size as my reader if I wanted to read graphic novels. But Kindle is great for graphic novels because they come through panel by panel. It's this guided mode, and I really love that one. So It's been awesome hanging out with you guys, especially as we're starting to get to that point in the evening where we're getting obsessive over things. But yeah, you're in the right spot, I think, if you're obsessing over e-ink and pen tech and things like that. It's been awesome. I want to just try something out. Actually, what does this look like for you guys if I do that? Oh no, it doesn't. There should be a little comments thing on the side there. No, it's not showing, is it? So no, that didn't do anything good for me at all. That comments on stage. Maybe it shows for you. Does it show for you? Do you see the little comments coming through the little feed there? If you make it, can you all raise your right hand if you don't get obsessed by this stuff? Can you all do that for me just now? Oh, okay. You do get obsessed, and none of you are raising your right hand, are you? But I just want to see if the comments come through in this little box has appeared on the screen there, just really quickly. I will be back with some more content. It's been a half-term week here, so I'm taking a bit of time off. Yeah, I will be back in the very near future. I don't think this comments on stage button has done anything. It's not shown anything on there, so I will be back soon with some actually recorded and edited videos coming your way. Got lots of updates to make and lots to talk about. And I look forward to it. I just want to say thank you once again, because you do really make this such a joy to do. So yeah, kind thanks.